everybody. Sorry, I'm just here on my iPhone getting some quick videos done. I've been incredibly busy trying to get ready to go see my parents with my family, and with COVID, it has made everything more complicated. So I'm trying to get that done and make that happen while also, doing my actual work. So YouTube gets pushed to the side. But we have a video today from Miguel C. Hernandez. I did another portfolio review with him. Fantastic guy, great art, great lines, really brushy, tactile. I dug it a lot. And we had some interesting things to talk about and some interesting things to go over about his art, so I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully I'm going to go live from my parents' house on Friday and hang out for a little bit, maybe do some drawing, we'll see. Thanks so much for your support, and for those of you who have sent me portfolio reviews, I'm planning on making this a regular thing. At least once a month, I'd like to do this and post it up and make it part of the YouTube channel. Thank you for all the responses. Thank you for the support, for the continued subscribers. Hello, if you're new here, welcome. So glad to have you, and enjoy my conversation with Miguel. Have a great rest of your week. Welcome to round 2 of the San Diego Comic-Con virtual portfolio review. That is like a week late because I am very busy, and that's not really an excuse, but there it is. But today we have guest Miguel C. Hernandez. He's here all the way from, where are you from, Miguel?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland.
Cleveland, I know. Of all cities in the United States, I know.
Dude, I love Cleveland. I've been there multiple times. I went there with my dad. We went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I know it. I'm about to talk to somebody from Cleveland about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I apologize.
It's a field trip for us. But...
Oh man, I apologize. Dude, Miguel. So let me do a little intro. I just checked out Miguel's work because he sent it to me, and I thought it was awesome, and I thought it would be a perfect, I don't know, I feel like it would be a good portfolio to review and talk about, and I see so much awesome lines, and I like the brushwork. I just like the vibe, and so I wanted to share it with people and talk about, I don't know. Like, and I just told Miguel before we started recording, like, it's not my goal at all to, critique in a way that's not going to try and make people better. And I'm not trying to make people copies of myself. I just, I like looking at art, and, it's a portfolio review, so that's what we're going to do. That being said, Miguel, tell me a little bit about yourself and, like, where you come from, your art history, let's start there, yeah.
So my name is Miguel. Basically, not humble beginnings. Grew up in a neighborhood, Maple Heights, little small suburban Cleveland. Typical 80s, late 80s. I was born in 85, so I'm late 80s kid. So I had pretty much all the same stuff that a lot of us of this gen do. The Voltron and GI Joe, all that.
Dude, I was born in 87, so.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Around the same gen, yeah. So same thing. And then I can honestly say there was something that pivoted my brain over is when one day my brother came home, and for all the young people, he came up with a VHS tape, and it had Akira, Battle Angel Alita.
Oh, yeah.
It was Fist of the North Star, 3x3 Eyes, and it was like a promo for some movie I can't remember. And after that, I was like, mind you, I was like 6 or 7, and nobody in my neighborhood, because we were neighborhood kids that played every day, outside, baseball, football, we were outside. Nobody was on that. I'm talking about stuff, and they're like, what? And then it's that awkward moment of having people come up to your house and watching these movies that are not for kids because of the violence and all that. But And then my brother, he was heavy into comics, big into Todd McFarlane. When Image started, I got to read all of that stuff as a kid. So my brother was coming home with the brown bags, and I couldn't mess his comics up because he's big brother. So so every now and then, if I got lucky and he messed up one that he didn't like if he got a double or something, I got the other one. I got like the jacked up one, So I have a Spawn one, but it's got like a little dent in the cover, So, but and then after that, I just kept drawing, man. I kept drawing, and that's kind of what I've been known for. Just my whole life is just drawing comics. I drew so much I got in trouble, and if I got in trouble, that's the first. That's when my parents was like, I can't draw. And I'm like, what? So I would get my stuff together after that. I can't draw, man. That's a wrap. And I've been drawing ever since.
Okay. That's awesome. So, it's funny hearing you talk about like kind of stumbling on things that nobody else that you knew had stumbled on yet. Like I remember like and you're right there with me, like that manga, like just looking at manga that really before like the manga craze really took over, like getting just little bits and pieces of random I'm thinking right now Tetsuro Ueyama's Metal Guardian Faust, just a random one-off like graphic novel about like a robot. The story is nonsense, but the art completely blew my mind. And then Akira, and then eventually like Full Metal Alchemist was like early 2000s for me.
Okay. Yeah.
And I look back on it now, and like I still enjoy it, but it's like I remember when I saw it when I was late high school, and it's just completely blowing my mind.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Okay, so now the pages that you sent me here, is this something that you've like written and drawn yourself?
Yeah, so I've been working on this. The title's called JISEI. I've been working on this book probably for the past 3 years. Okay. So right now, I think I'm at probably about 98 pages of it done. I've printed it, and I've sold it in mini format. Mini what are they called, floppies. Yep. I've sold them locally, mainly just local shows here in Cleveland. So most of my good friends and comic friends from Cleveland, they all know me for this book.
That's awesome, dude. So is this your full-time gig?
I wish it was, but
dude, wear it with pride. Weekend warrior. That's like can I ask what you do?
I'm basicly freelance. So I've been just mainly like graphic design. I have a business. So when I work at home, it's mainly just graphic design, illustrations here or there, a lot of consulting. I actually I was supposed to work as a storyboard artist for a major film this year, but then COVID-19 happened, and that got tanked. And I remember just sitting in this meeting with with this man who I knew the man because I worked with him before. And he's like, hey, I got this job for you. I'm going to introduce you. I was like, this is it. I'm driving home, got the music blasting. Like, this is it. I'm taking off. And then like March happened, and then April. And then I'm like, all right, this is not happening. So, yeah. So it's just freelance, doing stuff here or there. But most of the time, I'm really more so just a dad, like, taking care of the kids.
I hear him in the background.
Yeah, doing graphic design on when I can, take care of my kids. Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, first of all, I have to say, I really respect the dedication to comics in the midst of like trying to get graphic design and being a dad. I had kids after like I was like fully in comics, but I remember like trying to make it in any sort of visual field while like working on my comics, and I can only imagine with children. I mean, I had a hard enough time, doing it just with me and my wife. So props to you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So looking at these pages, I think they're fantastic. Can you talk to me about what, like, are you digital? Are you like using a brush? What's up?
So for the most part, I am traditional. So every now and then I'll go in Clip Studio and add some like those black lines you see in the background. Those are mainly because I have kids. Sometimes I have to do things to save time.
Okay.
So, and then sometimes I like to just experiment with digital brushes, just to see their effects.
Yeah.
And if it goes well with it, I'm like, hey, I'll pick it. But for the most part, JISEI is pretty much, I would say, 95% digital.
Okay.
I mean, traditional. Traditional.
Right on.
So I'm big on I'm big on. I got the Pentel. I use the Pentel pocket brush.
Yeah, that's me. Yep.
Zebra. I'm on jet pens like every 3 4 months.
Speaking my language, bro. I'm on jet pens like every day.
Right. So when they see my family would be like, you don't need another brush. And I'm just like, yeah, but this one, this might be the one. So. I'm often trying new brushes. So
my wife does the same thing. All
so
right. Well, first off, I think this panel is awesome. Composition is solid. But the first thing I'm going to say about it is I thought it was a statue at first.
Okay.
And then I see him, so we're going to just shoot it right over to page 2 here. I see him move. And that's really cool. And maybe the effect was to make it look like a statue. I think it's really cool. I think maybe something to maybe like your line art has a ton of life in it, which I'm really digging. I want to see something. Take this with a grain of salt because I know you've been doing this for a long time. Let's see. I just want more intensity here.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah.
you kind of see what I'm going for a little bit, like,
Yeah. I get you, man.
Yep. And now, so this, I think this is really cool, but it's driving me crazy, because it's like, we can't tell how far back it goes.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
It's like,
okay.
see, like, just how much stronger the silhouette is, just like
yes.
automatically. It's kind of scary, right?
Yeah. Wow, just that little.
Yeah, it's like wild, right?
Changed it. Whoa. Okay.
Now, so with this, so you're kind of seeing like what I'm going for here, like just a little bit of a different approach to these. Sorry, I covered up his face by accident, but
not you.
Just with like a little bit of a different approach to these lines, you see how it's kind of like he's like looming like above us a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does like this is a subtle thing, right? Like, and you're at that point where like these are like the little things now that you're looking to like just give it that extra oomph.
Okay.
So, and then another thing, just as far as composition goes, right? Like, immediately we're starting to make like a little bit. We're starting just to make a few more. I don't know what the word is. So here we've got this like real estate, right? And as we know, we only have so many pages to tell a specific story in a set amount of time, which I interpret to be like pages. So we want to make things just look as grand and as soon as we open this, we want to think, damn, there's a reason this is a double page splash, and immediately, like, I just want more of him.
Okay, yeah. You're not the only person that said that.
Okay.
So.
Like,
you are vaccinated, my friend.
Okay, right on. So, and I know that this is a portfolio, but like, I would love to see. I just want it to be a big ol' I want it to be a big ol' splash.
Okay.
And we've just got a little bit more intensity, right? Like, is she just like, because I'm assuming, and you can correct me if this is not the intent, but that the intent of this page is like, here's this badass, watch out. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. Is that kind of what you're going for?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, 100%, right?
It's like it was going downhill, and then it's like now you see the cliff, and you're like, oh.
Yep. That's awesome, and I think that's awesome that I was able to pull that out, because like it's a really great sign, because it's like, dude, your intentions are clear, and now it's just a matter of like really hitting that nail on the head.
Yeah.
So, again, like, don't be afraid to like use up that space. Sometimes what I will do is I will take a picture of it. I don't know if you have an iPad or anything.
I do.
Okay, right on. So I'll like just take a crappy picture of the drawing with my iPad, like after I've already inked it. If something is really, I'm feeling like maybe something's not clicking, I'll take a picture with my iPad and I'll just like do a draw over it, and just like with blacks, or like maybe spotting some blacks I'm maybe a little scared of spotting, or maybe like extending out the shapes a little bit more than what I've gone for, just to kind of like make sure that I've pushed the drawing to the limit. And really, I mean, like, being intentional about like killing your darlings, because like, you know, you put all this effort into a splash, you're like, I want to make sure I don't mess this up, and like, what if I make a mistake? So that's just something that I do that I don't know if that's helpful.
That's very effective too, because you know you're not sacrificing the page too. It's just kind of
Right.
like, all right, this work just didn't. Okay, yeah, no, that's useful.
And also, like, what I'll do is like I'll zoom like way out on iPad, so I like use Procreate, and I'll just zoom way out on the canvas, and I'll just force myself to make very like I won't let myself get too down in the depths with the details digitally. I'll just like make a few marks and be like, is what I'm going for, is it working? And if it is, I put the iPad down and I just attack the page, because you're like, if it works small on my crappy iPad photo, it's gonna work when I put the ink down.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, this is awesome. I love this face. I love this panel. It's great. Here, this is like a matter of taste. I might put in like a few, I don't know what you want to call them, maybe even like a feather, some sort of noise to imply, like, because this is,
Joe Mad does that a lot.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Oh totally. Yeah. My YouTube channel should be called "How to Draw Like Joe Mad."
But I mean, I just know that because I pick up Joe Mad and Hiro Kashimura, the artist and writer of Blade of the Immortal. It's like you got this visual. I call it like, it's like visual debris.
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
Now, that being said, there are plenty of artists that would just tell you to not change a thing. This is like kind of like a personal preference. You could even like, I might even say try getting rid of the like this little speed marks and just having the feathers. Also,
I like that idea. I'm digging that.
so here, this roof. This is a little bit at an awkward angle.
Okay.
I don't know. So if we go back, so the way that you had it like here,
yeah,
you see how it's like, so this is like an incredibly balanced panel. It's like with the wings right down the middle, and you've got this, you have this triangle shape, which, it's equal here, and it's equal here, but then you got this stray line here, and it's just bugging the hell out of me.
Okay.
So they like that. This might be a taste thing, so you're gonna have to take that with a grain of salt. But I think the tension here. Is really nice. Let's go to. This is a small thing. Let's go to this panel is dope. I think this is really. I have no notes. I think everything here works. That's really cool. I think this is also great. I feel like this eye makes me think of Blade of the Immortal.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I borrow a little bit here and there.
Hey, yeah, right on.
I see that eye a lot in I forgot the artist's name, but Blade of the Immortal and Berserk. Like with cuts and he's opening his eyes, like
Yep. And like the little like glare. Yeah. It's not a critique at all. I think it's fantastic. Okay. So immediately, something that I'm seeing here, just storytelling wise, we got this great panel. then we have, or this great splash, then we have these really panels. So there's a lot of atmospherics here. And honestly, I want, and maybe this is by design, but, and so, you know, this, at some point, you know, you have to, sometimes if it's by design, you know, that's what it is, and that's fine. I'm just gonna smush this a little.
Okay. No, I'm all for this, man.
I want to see some sort of establishing something, because I don't know where the characters are in relation to each other yet.
Okay.
And so, you know, I just am deciding to throw it here. You could totally throw it anywhere, right? You could throw it anywhere on this page, but the fact of the matter is, like, they're meeting in this like spot here, and there's the tension that's happening. Sorry. Here's this tension right here. This is like it's starting to happen. But since we don't really have a strong sense of place, I am a little bit. I know they're going after each other, but I want to know where, and I want to know, like, because if let's say they're like just fighting on the edge of of a roof, right on the very top of a roof. It's like you're already starting to say so much about this kind of skills that the characters are on. Is if they're on the ground, let's say he's jumping from the top of a steeple of a church or whatever, if he's landing all the way down, then it just implies just how like much balance and care that and like talent that this attacker has.
Okay.
Now, I've looked at all the pages, but I can't remember. I'm just gonna check. No, okay. So like we don't need. What I want to see is like I want to see. I'm just gonna do a quick grid here.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. I see. Yeah. It's making.
Yeah, this isn't, you know. So we make sure that whatever this is, it's like you're going like, okay, I'm equating here with here, right?
Yeah.
So you know where he came from, and
it.
maybe he's up here, or this is kind of squished, right? It doesn't necessarily work. One thing that maybe I would say is you could. I don't know. I'm like kind of. Well, you know, let's see. You could have something like here, which is just, you know, it's just like an intentional space, just to almost like, not to get it out of the way, but you're just like giving a little like scrap out to the readers to be like, hey, here's what's up. So it can ground us, because your dynamics are friggin' phenomenal, right? I love the brushwork, I love the vibe, I love how you're wearing your influences on your sleeve. I think it's awesome, and I like the timing a lot too. There's a lot of inherent storytelling in your work, and I think something that should be celebrated. Now it's just like, it's just like, because when I was reading this, I was like, this is so badass, and like, dude, this is so great, right? But I need to know where they are. So even if it's, I'm trying to think of a cool solution. You know what? No, you're talented enough that you can figure out your own solution to this, right?
No, I do get what you're saying, because it happens a lot in film. It's kind of like, you know, the action, because I also teach every now and then. I teach kids with comics, and we talk about that a lot, you know. It's funny. Now it's biting me in the butt.
Dude, sometimes I will find that I will try and like get away with it, like in my own storytelling, and then I'll look back at some of my old comics and be like, oh my god, I should have definitely, like, you know, there's a million. By no means is this like, you know, does this like ruin the action scene? It's just something that makes it that much better.
Yeah, and it grounds in a sense too. It's like,
yes.
You know.
So when you have something that's like, this is obviously very, what's the word? It's like intense. It's dynamic. It's like, there's a guy with wings is attacking another dude with a samurai sword. It's like supposed to be out there. But like, have you ever seen? I don't know if you're a fan of like action movies, but like The Raid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I do martial arts.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
that
So
kind of stuff.
like, when I'm thinking of The Raid 2, the second one, where they fight in the kitchen.
Okay.
Like, if the fight wouldn't be nearly as cool if they were fighting in a vacuum or in just like an open space, because they're like
Right.
kicking off walls and they're using the environment around them.
Yeah.
And that's something that I love to incorporate in my own stories, where it's like, let's
You do.
yeah, yeah, like it's just like it's fun because it's like
Yeah.
I can
You
and it's like a way to help sell stuff, because if I have a guy getting punched into a roof, let's say he tries, like, this bird guy attacks the swordsman, and the swordsman maybe hits him with the brunt of the katana, and maybe the bird guy like falls back into the roof, like those roof pellets can like fly off, implying action, and it can just make us feel like we're a little bit more there. And there's also gives us an added weight, so it's like when somebody hits the floor, is it just like a dirt floor, or is it like through like a kitchen sink? Whatever, you get what I'm saying.
Oh no, I get you. Yeah.
That's why, like,
Yeah.
when Morpheus gets punched through that toilet in the Matrix, you're like, oh my god. Still kills me to this day when I see that scene. I'm like, oh, because we know how hard a toilet is. Anyway, all right.
Yes.
I'm getting excited. Okay, so another thing. So along with the sense of place, just as a placeholder, let's do this. So we have this guy. I wouldn't necessarily do this, but it's kind of like a looking up view from whatever kind of place we're on. Let's say we're just on top of a roof here.
Yeah.
He's jumping like this way. Which I kind of gather because his weight, this swordsman's weight, is on kind of this left side here. You know, with this stance. Maybe I should have the sword more be like that. Which means that I just want this to be like that.
Okay, yeah.
And it's immediately, it's like, okay, they're going right at each other. And you see how he's still facing that way? He's still like facing. And then, I would
change that.
yeah, like,
Okay.
I just have to do this because
No, you good, man. No, you it's making sense. I got it.
yeah.
They don't teach this stuff in school, man. So I'm taking it all in.
I don't know why I feel like I have to change this. Whatever, right? You got it, right? So then, again, I might do this. Now, I'm just going to go to the next page really fast. Okay. So, you have this really dynamic... Sorry, I'm down here. This really dynamic panel down here. And can you... So, have they connected yet, or are they about to connect?
This is like the split second of connecting, and then it's like the after that, it's like after they've connected, you get to finally look him. He's looking him in the face at that point. So that next page is like him basically finally get to looking the Tengu in the face.
Okay.
Before it's like clean, I was just like, oh man, you ugly. Kind of like that Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator moment.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
so here's my thing. I think that this looks really cool, but I can't tell based on this bottom panel. I can't tell if they have hit or if they've not. So if they haven't hit, I think that's a really cool idea, or like a really cool visual. Like, it's just like the whisper right before their blades
that's kind
touch.
of
Yeah, I think if that's the case, there needs to be, and like you have this like beautiful negative space in the background. I think that needs to be between them somehow.
Okay.
So, I like the zoomed in quality. I like how we're like really up in it.
Got it.
Or it's a really, some sort of like, and again, I wouldn't know how to do it where like, because it's a really cool idea, but it would be challenging to hit, right?
Yes.
Like you'd have to figure out some way to like show they're just about. Now, I will say, if this is like, so you have kind of like this like you're like almost like tricking your readers, because when I'm reading this, I'm thinking, oh, they're going to be hitting in this next panel after I see this, like this, the eye, the intensity, we're hyper zoomed in and then we're way out, and I'm thinking they're going to clang, but we're not, which I like because it's unconventional. But if this is the case, if like this is like the, oh my God, we're still not there yet, then this panel has to be like, this has to blow my friggin' brains out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm following. Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And right, and so this is cool, but it's like it doesn't get me excited.
Okay.
Like I want like, I don't know. I feel like with all of this intensity, I feel like I want there to be a bigger payoff here. I'm not sure what that looks like, right? There's a lot. These lines are so cool. This is great. That subtle like pointing of the hand, I think that's really, really awesome. I think you can do the same thing. I'm going to squish this down a little bit. I don't know how you would solve this, but, it just like, like something like really friggin' like really in there.
In your face.
Yeah, and if not that close,
yeah.
Maybe okay, here's where the the church thing or whatever, right? Like,
no, I got it. Yeah.
And here we can really get a sense of the wings.
Yes. No, that shot. Yeah. That's dynamic. That's got a lot of Daniel Warren Johnson.
Well, like, there's a million ways to show this, right? And I'm obviously like, I'm biased because it's me, but I think so I gotta be honest with you. Like, I wouldn't just for my personal storytelling, I wouldn't do this. Like, I would just have it be now, bang. That's just how I would do it. But I really appreciate this aesthetic. Like, I like, pushing just a little farther than what maybe people are used to in a comic, especially like even in a manga or whatever. So to have the actual thing happen on the next page, I think that's really great. And there's a million different ways to show that. But I just want it more intense than what you had previously.
Okay. No.
Then, I think after, if you wanted, I mean, obviously you're running out of space, but if you wanted to have that panel that I erased, I think that would work fine after this panel.
Okay. Yeah.
Because then there's a moment of rest, but it just seemed like you were resting just a little too early with your intentions from before. I think this panel is really cool. I want these, like, it's just to be a little more solid, like have a little more weight.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to like cover that up in like silhouette. Sorry, there we go.
How you doing?
So the blacker something is, like, with their lines, it just adds that extra oomph, like, like that weight. Like, he's putting all his weight on there, and it really sells it if it's just totally in shadow. Because before, it was just a little like, it's not a bad drawing. Just the lines are like too weak for my taste if he's like putting all of his weight on that to like swing that way.
Yeah, I got it.
This is friggin' phenomenal. I think this is great. This panel here. I think this panel is awesome too. I would personally, I would move the balloon up here.
Okay.
Just because like this is kind of awkward there.
Okay.
Again, we're getting into small things here.
You good.
All right, with this panel, again, beautifully drawn. He's ducking, right?
Yeah, he's kind of like moving out the way
All right.
because the Tengu is just relentlessly attacking. So it's not a lot of it's not a lot of offense
Yep.
coming from the swordsman. He's just kind of like, oh crap, oh.
Okay, so I would have something to, and then I would use that hair.
Yeah.
Use it to your advantage.
Which I'm learning. Yeah, I learned that. I forgot where I got that from, but I was watching somebody draw, and they were like, use the hair. And I'm like, you're right, because the hair can show that movement.
Yep. And something else that'll help with the movement, you don't have to do this. Sometimes I'll just do some speed lines on the outside. Like, not through the whole thing, because obviously it's going to conflict with this spear. Yeah. But it just kind of helps sell.
No, I like it, man, because I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It definitely.
It just helps push it a little bit. So, I think that this drawing is actually one of my. It's funny. This drawing is like one of my favorites in the whole set of pages that you sent. But I really don't like that it's like basically the same panel. Like it's like because here's like I like the storytelling aspect of this panel better than I like this one because I want to see a different angle now. Like I want variation. I don't necessarily like, especially if he's ducking over this way, and it kind of feels like he's ducking that way. And I think you could show that, but I think let's see. I want to see. What am I doing here? It would be a great time to like zoom out a little bit. I'm not sure how you would do it, right? Like whoosh, whoosh.
I'm following, man. I'm following.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Again, a million different ways to do it. And like by no means like there are plenty of people that would want to do like that kind of like same shot. I just don't think that I don't like it. But that's like that might be more of like a personal preference. This is awesome. And then like if you want to return back to like this kind of setup, I think this totally works really well.
Okay.
And so I really like the composition. Can you tell me are they sliding? What's happening here?
Oh, just kind of that spear is just coming up. So he's basically just deflecting the spear with this katana. So spear's coming up and he's just kind of moving it out the way because
okay.
It's just a lot of. I tried to make it very stressful. So yeah, but
man, I don't know how I'd show that. It doesn't read like that right now.
Okay.
Maybe some. Oh man, I don't know. Don't be afraid to put that little band in there. It'll help sell the hair too.
Okay.
The hair is looking a little clumpy there.
Okay.
Man, that's a really interesting challenge.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because part of my challenge was it's a lot. I wouldn't say easier. It's a lot different to manipulate two katanas.
Yes.
But now I got to think about, in a martial arts standpoint, a spear versus a sword. So I'm literally watching anime. I mean, I think I found a couple, but I'm literally trying to find references of movies of someone using a spear and how it's used. So I always try to think of that in relation to footwork and, body movement, center of gravity. Because, yeah, you can obviously a spear is going to be doing a lot of thrusting,
Yeah.
a lot of, swiping at you, so.
This is, man, I kind of don't envy you having to figure this out because this is a lot of work.
I like it though because in a sense it's a challenge for
It's
me.
awesome. Dude.
You try to figure out ways for it to make sense. So, and it's always helpful too when someone like you can be like, all right, this is how I would try it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my peers, they don't draw in action scenes. I'm not against any of my peers here in Cleveland, but I don't know too many of us. Who is that calling me? No, now. I don't know too many of us that are trying to do action scenes.
Yep.
A lot of people are doing more so narrative work. So,
and it's like a whole different set of challenges.
Keep trying to call me. All right, sorry.
Oh, dude, you're fine. I think, man. I think ultimately the fight, like the best thing about this fight is that it's pretty clear, and I dig that a lot. I guess so. Like the only thing with this last panel is like I just couldn't quite tell what was happening between the two swords. But like, I'm not like I don't know how swords work. So,
that's my.
I will say though, like, I'm totally. Jack Kirby said this, so like, it's not my advice, but he's like, if it looks good, it is good. So if it looks right, even though it might not technically be right, you do it. Because like, I'm like 90% positive. Like, if we were to get like a samurai textbook or like some sort of history book which shows the stances and how to like exit out of like a spear thrust, you're gonna be like, how the heck this doesn't work in a comic book? It looks terrible, or whatever, right? It's just like trying to figure that out. If it's like, if you can make it clear and look cool that he's blocking that spear and it's like recovering in a cool way, just go for it.
I take it serious. So like, I'll literally sit there and be like in a daze trying to figure. I'll take a walk and literally try to figure out the action, and how it flows.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, overall, I think this is fantastic. Miguel, can you tell people where they can find you on the internet? Can you tell like maybe your website or here's my kid.
Mines are still outside, so I'm pretty sure they'll be flooding in at some point.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Can you go back upstairs? I am so sorry. I'll be there in a minute. I love you. I love you. Okay. I'm sorry. Tell me about tell me where people can find you.
So I do a lot of posting on Instagram. So on Instagram, it's just Miguel C. Hernandez all in one.
Okay.
So at Miguel C. Hernandez. You can read all of that comic on my website, which I can give to you. It's just my company, ourstudiojs.com. And that's mainly it. And in Twitter, I get a lot of insight from people. Like I'll just be checking the news or whatever. I might post a couple art things here and there. The other day I got a comment liked by Greg Capullo, so I was like, yes, I'm in there.
That's awesome, dude. I was at San Diego last year, and lo and behold, there was Greg Capullo and his wife like walking towards me, and I was like, "Hey, Greg!" I like totally fanboyed out, and like he didn't know who the heck I was. And to his credit, I was like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. I know you're probably like on a date." He's like, "No, man, this is what it's about."
Yeah. Oh man, that's so cool.
It was great.
Man.
It was really good. Thank you, Greg. Okay, awesome. Well, we'll make sure to include your links below. Everybody, please check out Miguel's work. Please give him some support. And Miguel, thank you so much for being willing to put your art on display like this. I appreciate it.
Thank you. It was an honor. I appreciate it. I'm just thankful you looked at it, and that helps me, man.
Hey.
I'm now to another level.
Thanks for being here, brother.
All right, man. Thank you.